Sharpening stones and honing steels are probably familiar to most knife owners. Stones, also known as whetstones or bench stones, sharpen knives by actually wearing away pieces of metal on either side of the edge. Stones are made of natural or man-made substances of varying degrees of hardness. Sharpening removes metal. Sharpen enough to get a good edge, but try to preserve the life of your knife. Honing with a steel refines the edge by removing the tiny wire burrs that are formed by the stone abrading the metal. Always steel the knife after sharpening it on a stone. Steels are often used by chefs as they work and before or after each task, simply to maintain an edge, not to sharpen. Chef Richard Zack demonstrates his own style of using a steel. The steel straightens out an edge that is curled or bent slightly from use. Diamond-impregnated surfaces will act more to sharpen than hone or refine a knife blade. Chefs of the Culinary Institute of America demonstrated some of the basic techniques of sharpening and honing. Chef Jim Haywood.
We're going to use a two-sided stone, carborundum stone. One side is fine, one side is coarse. I'm going to place the stone down on a damp cloth or towel so that it doesn't slide around. Okay? This is about a 10-inch French knife. This is a stainless. I'm going to use a little water on it. And for a lubricant, sometimes people use oil. I guess it's just a matter of preference.
Some chefs feel that lubricating a stone with mineral oil or water helps to carry away the minute filings. Be consistent with what you use on a particular stone, whether oil or water.
The most important part of sharpening is this knife.
Although there's no hard and fast rule, typically blades are placed at a 20-degree angle against the sharpening implement.
You will get a knack for this after you learn how to do this, and every time you sharpen your knife, your angle will be probably pretty close to the same. I want to use the whole length of the stone with the whole length of the knife so that both get worn evenly. You should stand facing square to the stone, have your arms out so that you can control it. If you're too close, you're crowded. I put a little bit of pressure on here, not much, and I'm going to start at this particular point in the knife and this particular point of the stone. And we'll start at the edge of the stone, bring our knife across, let the tip wind up at the back edge of the stone, pivot, same motion the other way, same angle.
The bolster should be sharpened so that the entire blade can be used.
Hear that cute little whistling noise? If you can keep that noise the same, you'll realize that your angle will be the same. Now I'm turning the stone over, and I'm going to sharpen this on the fine side. Okay, this will sort of dress it up a little bit. We don't need to do as much time on the fine side as we have done on the coarse side. In between, I wipe it off to get any of the coarse grit from the stone off that was there. And I go to the fine side, spread the liquid around a little bit. Okay. Same exact moves, same exact angle. The first time you sharpen a new knife, it's probably going to take you quite a while. Clean the knife blade off. Okay. And now we take a look at the knife. If we look, we can see some streaks coming up this way from the stone. That means we've had a pretty good angle, and eventually this knife will get worn into a little bit of a shallower edge, and it will work fine.
Another stone that is used to sharpen knives in a professional kitchen, and the choice of many chefs, is the multi-oil stone. An advantage to this stone is that it has 3 replaceable stones in a triangular pattern, and they are of different levels of coarseness, fine all the way up to rough. If you're using an oil stone, you should use mineral oil with it and not vegetable oil. Vegetable oil is a food-grade oil that becomes gummy and rancid after a certain period of time. As we turn the triangular stone, oil coats each of the surfaces, providing adequate lubrication. And the sharpening technique with this stone would be the same as with other stones. We're going to maintain an angle of 20 degrees and use the full length of the stone.
Be sure to clean oil and filings off of your knife.
As with other stones. After you sharpen your knife on a sharpening stone, it's a good idea to use a steel to refine the edge that you've put on your knife. Many people begin steeling a knife somewhere in the middle of the blade, and this can wear down certain sections of your blade. It's important to remember to always begin with the heel and work your way at the 20-degree angle to the tip. I'm not moving my arm all over, I'm just using my wrist in a motion like this. I'm holding the steel at arm's length. Notice where the guard is. If the guard is shaped in the diamond, we must make sure that's horizontal so that if the blade goes too far towards our hand, which is holding the steel, the knife blade is stopped. I like to always keep my eye on the tip of the steel because that's where I will be repositioning my knife after each stroke. And eventually, with practice, you speed up. That's one technique. Another technique cooks prefer sometimes is to hold the steel in a vertical fashion and to sharpen from the heel to the tip in a downward stroke, alternating the blade with each stroke, maintaining a 20-degree angle. Some people feel more comfortable with this due to the possible safety enhancement of steeling in this direction. Other times, chefs prefer to sharpen in an outward stroke, such as this. It's important to remember that after steeling your knife, you wipe the knife blade clean with either soap and water or vinegar. Being careful always not to cut yourself.